Hey James, thanks for joining us once again. Very excited to walk through another bonus episode here on the Conversion Podcast. I'll maybe start by just letting you set the scene here. In this case, we're going to walk through an experiment, just what the background was around it, why we were doing it, what makes it interesting, and we'll kind of dive into it a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Happy to be chatting about testing once again. This one, if you remember last time we spoke, actually, I alluded to the concept of a killer test, and I talked about an example that Kevin Turchin and myself had spoken about in a webinar not too long ago. Encouraged everybody to go check that out. So I figured, why not start with that one? Let's chat about that experiment that I was alluding to there. So the idea, the concept, came from within Whirlpool, within KitchenAid, from someone in Kevin's organization. And we had been doing testing for a while. And the word had started getting out. It started to spread a little bit on what experimentation and A/B testing can do. And someone on the product team had the idea of merchandising their 90-day money back guarantee on their stand mixer products. And it's important to note that they already had this offer. This wasn't something new. KitchenAid stand mixers had always been covered by a 90-day money back guarantee, but it wasn't merchandised. It wasn't communicated very effectively or clearly on the product pages or really anywhere on the site as a value proposition of the product. So the product manager walks up to Kevin's desk one day and, with this seemingly no-brainer idea, let's talk about our money back guarantee. It's perfect, right? It will alleviate any anxiety a customer might have in purchasing our stand mixers. Let's do it. But he had heard about the testing program, so thought, I'd like to test it just to see, right? I'd like to prove how much better this is going to be for the business with this great idea. So there we go. What if we put a 90-day money back guarantee on our product pages? We tested it. We took the 90-day money back guarantee and our control experience. It just isn't communicated or merchandised anywhere, as I referred to. We put it on the PDPs, we put it on the PLPs. We made it quite a prominent component of the experience as someone's shopping for a stand mixer. And what do you think happened? I would be talking about this if it was pretty obvious.
I'm going to guess there's a
It was a
surprise here. Yeah, there's a surprise
it
effect.
was a double-digit loss in order rates. So it actually dragged orders down on KitchenAid.com, which was A, very surprising to the business, but B, very important that we actually tested this and found this out and didn't just roll this no-brainer idea out into the world. And the interesting part about this is that because it feels like a no-brainer, the why behind it was really interesting. And the concept here is that, KitchenAid stand mixers are a category leader. They're, the stand mixer that any, baker or kitchen enthusiast wants in their kitchen. And so when you're shopping for products that is a category leader like this, you don't usually have any sort of doubts around product performance or the need for a guarantee or a money back guarantee, especially not when you're shopping on a brand.com, right? On KitchenAid.com for their flagship product. So it was introducing doubt or concern or any little bit of anxiety when the effect was actually intended to alleviate doubt or anxiety, where instead we're sort of putting that thought in customers' minds and it's actually decreasing order rate and dragging it down instead of bolstering it up. So the concept of, putting the right message at the right time in front of customers, it wasn't an anxiety inducing moment for them. They didn't need that guarantee. Whereas I've had plenty of other clients where I've put, money back guarantees or anxiety reducing elements, promises onto product pages, and it's worked extremely well because maybe there is that feeling or that moment at that point in the customer journey. But making sure that you're addressing the right one at the right time is really important. So this one, I mean, this was the killer test for them. This was the one that if you'd asked anybody before showing them the result, they would have said, yeah, of course we should do that. That's great. Let's put it on all of our products. And after seeing the result here was a big boon for the experimentation program because everyone else was kind of having that oh shit moment of what other assumptions have I made and put out there in our digital experiences that I may have been completely wrong about. So experimentation really increased after these results.
Yeah, it's a great example of the nuance in all the different contexts, right? Like you said, we've used tactics like this all the time before, but everything's slightly different depending on the context. I've got one follow up for you though. You mentioned it's on the PDP and the PLP. How did you actually set that up? So the test were those two different experiments? Did you run this in a larger site-wide experiment where one just has money back guarantee language throughout several different page templates? Like how do you actually structure a test like that?
Yeah, we're able to test it kind of, what you might consider a full funnel experiment. We're able to see, targeting all people that are entering the PLPs, the PDPs, so we can target all of those pages in one test. So we've got a very holistic experience of a big group of people that have never seen it on the site, and then a big group of people that have been exposed to it, depending on where they've gone. And then in the post analysis, we can look at the people. We can start to sort of segment and slice and dice and say, okay, all up, people that went through the whole customer journey, PLP, PDP, how did they do? People who only saw it on the PLP maybe and maybe even never made it to the product pages, did they perform any differently? Did people who maybe entered directly on a PDP perform differently? So you can start to really slice and dice it and look at it cautiously in as many ways as you like, but it's all in one experiment. So there's a whole group of people that, there's no pollution. They haven't seen it only on one page and then not on the next. You definitely don't want to set up a test like that.
Fascinating way of just, I think, running a test like this, clean experiment, but then you can do some pretty sophisticated stuff with the analysis while not cutting it up too simply. So we start finding kind of a little bit, we create our own little clusters that are not really true. But yeah,
Yeah,
great to see. Very
big
cool.
big advocate for integrating your analytics platform with your testing tool as well. That's why that always opens up a lot of doors for being able to do that more detailed analysis and post-test segmentation if you have those tools natively integrated.
Very cool. Okay. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. As we said, more to come. Stay posted next week. We'll have another one of these great or interesting experiments to walk you through and hopefully give you sorts of an inspiration.
All right. Thanks, Matt.